Hi, what's going on? Oh, it's been an exciting day. Um, got a lot of stuff done. Had some exchanges. Oops, let me. Oop, should probably about that. Okay, yeah, I got some stuff done, and then there was, of course, some some funny shit going on. So anyhow, thanks for joining. Sorry I had to push it out a little bit. Um, there's a couple lives going on, so I thought it'd be best to wait and go live. So here we are. Let me check in with the chat. Can y'all hear me? I just want to make sure. I don't want to do that again. All right. Big Fish showing some support here. Thank you. Hi, Louise. I'm glad you made it. You always do. All right. So, what I thought I would do today is go over, I know, once again, the timeline, but I want to focus in on 218. Okay. So I'm going to start at, well, actually, we'll start at 215. So we're going to start at 215. I'm going to walk through the bridge area around the time that the girls were last seen. Well, um, yeah, Abby was. And then I'm going to take that all the way to, I want to say like 3:50, 4 o'clock. So since my last live stream, I know I had mentioned that wasn't certain when David McCain arrived at the bridge because during his testimony, he first said 2 to 4, and then he narrowed it down to 2 to 3. And I'm thinking, where was he? Between 2 and 3, right? Like, obviously, duh, right? But I wanted to really see if I could figure it out. I know probably everyone else has, and I'm just slow. But I wanted to look at the parking lot, right? Because I think what the state kind of did, not to the full extent, is they tied people on the trails to vehicles. Now, we still don't know a couple of vehicles, like who they belong to. We as the public, maybe the state does, and we just don't, right? Um, but there's a couple of vehicles in there where I'm like thinking, who is this? And when I went through the Google Earth presentation and I did it quickly, not reading through everything and just, like a quick fly. It's going to and from one side to the other. And something stuck out to me. So I'm going to cover that. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and begin here. Now I have this on 2017 view. So I'm not going to go into full presentation mode because I want to look at the area in 2017. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, I mean, I'm going to close my door because my son's loud. Just one sec. I'm going to put the screen up here, and I'm going to close the door. And I'm pretty certain it's like Murphy's Law. My dog will start needing something. She's quiet all day. I think she gets a little nervous, maybe because I'm not talking all day and she hears me talking a lot. And she's probably like, who are you talking to, lady? Can you see my screen? I think you can. Okay, so 218. And the reason why I wanted to start at 218 is because when Betsy Blair testified, she had stated when she left, there was no cars in the Mears lot. Okay, so that like gets us to, she leaves, we're at zero cars in the lot. Now the lot, I've heard the majority of the people say 2 cars, and I also have heard people mention that there could be 3 cars. I'm pretty certain it's 2 regular size vehicles at least, and some mopeds. All right. So she's departing, right? Here we go. Well, actually, let's do over here. Okay. She departed and she passes the CPS building. And this is where she had testified. She's seen a vehicle that reminded of her father's, which was a 1965 Ford Comet. So that's at 2:20. And we know this because her vehicle seen passing the Hoosier Harvest Store camera. Okay. So she's going westbound, she's going down this, takes this turn, right? And there, she sees a vehicle backed in somewhere in this area. Okay. Now, this, in full disclosure, and I had updated my presentation and put in orange. So anything you see with like an orange slide, that is outside of trial. But I think this is important because it helps fit the pieces together. So shortly after Betsy leaves, a person named David Riley arrives at the trails. So he parked in the Mears lot between 2:20 and 2:30. Okay. And we know this because apparently there was some type of document. He was at the post office right before this, so he has a receipt at 2:10, and he went straight to the trail right after the post office. Now I mapped it out. I'm assuming he went to the Delphi post office, right? Like how many post offices are within 10 minutes? I don't know. But from the Delphi post office, it's a 5-minute drive. Okay. So, I mean, he could have been there as early as 2:15, 2:16. But I'm still putting him there at 2:20. And it really doesn't matter because when he arrives, there was no one in the parking area. So he parks his car. And he walks, right? So he's, where am I? Oh, going the wrong way here. All right, so he comes in and walks down to the Freedom Bridge. Okay. And no cars are there. So now we're at one vehicle. Okay. Now at 2:30, And this is from the 2:30 area. This is from trial, okay? So 2:30, Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson arrive. And they do see 2 cars there, at least, and they park on the grass. So Shelby Hicks, at the time, she drove a white Chevy Impala with paper plates, which indicates to me a new vehicle. And she also testified that she had just got her vehicle. She just got her vehicle. So, kind of like adds up here, and it will come together in a minute. So around 2:35, David Riley, who is the man with the black dog, okay, he is heading back. Oops. He's heading back to the trail. So he's coming from, not the trail, but the parking area. So he's coming from, I should probably just zoom out. That would be easier. So he's coming from the Freedom Bridge area, and he's coming along, and we have now another, at least 2 people crossing paths, because Shelby Hicks, well, Daniel Pearson at least, seen a person, not from trial, I get it, but it's always been out there. He's seen a man with a dog, okay? Which right here, they're crossing. So the state's timeline is adding up right at this point, in my opinion, okay? So he's walking down this trail, and like I said, he bumps into Shelby Hicks, okay? And when he departs, right, he sees another vehicle there. Ta-da! He sees a Honda Accord parked in the mirrors lot. And I believe it was parked to the right of him, if I'm not mistaken. So that is how I got to David McCain being at the trails at least at 2:29. I mean, he could have arrived, anywhere from what, 2:20 to 2:30, right? So he's there. And while he's there, right, he testified he went to the bridge first. He went to the Monon High Bridge, and he was taking pictures. So that puts David McCain at the bridge around 2:30. Okay. And while he's on the bridge, like I said, he's taking photos. He testified that if he did walk, further down the bridge, he wouldn't have passed the creek area. Okay. So he's somewhere around here, right at 2:30. Let me zoom out here. He's taking photos, and he had like a professional camera, and he testified that he liked to use this specific camera because it has a good zoom feature, right? So after he's done with the bridge, so he testified he was on the bridge, I believe, like what, about 20 minutes, maybe longer, maybe 30. Then we have here Shelby Hicks. After she's, they walk to the Freedom Bridge first, right? So I'm sorry, I should have done presentation mode, but I wanted to see it in 2017. She already crossed paths with the man and the dog, and she's heading back. She's going this way. And who does she see when she's approaching the bridge area? She sees David McCain exiting the Monon High Bridge area. Okay, that puts him on the bridge from 2:30 to 2:55. And she also testified that when I say she, that's Shelby Hicks, when Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson get on the bridge, so they're just getting on the bridge, she looks back. I don't know if she got I don't want to put words in her mouth. You ever get those moments where you feel like somebody's looking at you, you know, and you turn around and somebody's looking at you? I don't know if she got one of those feelings, but she turns around and she looks, and here's David McCain with his camera taking pictures of them towards the bridge area. She's taking pictures of them. He's taking pictures of them. Why are you taking pictures with people on the bridge? That's like really suspicious to me. I'm just saying. So then I missed a step. I'm sorry, because I put this out of place. I'm going to go back here. So let's go back in time a little bit. So prior to Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson getting to this bridge, okay, and so Shelby Hicks says that she gets out of her vehicle and she walks, and they almost get to the bridge. I mean, excuse me, the Freedom Bridge, right? And they turn around. So this was like a 10-minute process here. Okay. So let me just open this up. I'm going to go into slideshow mode for just a second because I want to grab some stuff. Just a minute. Check in with the chat too. Hi, sweet dude. Chibi, how are you? Good to see you. Okay, where was I? Well, I'm way ahead here. I guess I could just explain it. I wanted to pull something up though. Okay. Let me just find it. It's harder in this view. It's like so many numbers on here. I did put my glasses on. All right. Well, let's go prior here. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of interesting when you go through this quickly. See how the jumping around? It's like this trail is essentially, like, if you watch it, it's like there was a lot of people there, and they were walking back and forth, back and forth. I mean, there's not a lot of areas. I mean, you just have like the Freedom Bridge, and then all the way up to the bridge. If you cross the bridge, that's pretty much it, right? So like when people are out here getting exercise, they're just like on this one line, essentially, like this trail, the 501, or they go down to the 505, and that's pretty much it, right? And we have all these people there, and there was a lot of people there. Okay, so I'm going to go back here now. So at 2:40, so this is around the time where the dog was seen. And this is not court record. I just want to point that out. But look at this. This is 6 years ago. Okay. This is Bitter Beat Poet. He says, I think the witness and the girlfriend arrived around 3 o'clock. They parked at the Mears lot, the same one where the girls were dropped off. He said they walked slowly and they were heading up the 501 trail towards the high bridge when they passed when BG passed them, headed back towards the Freedom Bridge. He didn't say the hat was exposed, so no hoodie, and he noticed nothing as far as blood, etc. Not that he was paying that much attention. As I say, his girlfriend didn't even notice him. They were supposedly having an argument, which may account for some of this. I am guessing based on their arrival time, they saw him around 3:10, maybe give or take 5 minutes. Okay. Now, this is a little bit more information here about, he's talking about, because there's the 16-year-old witness, which would be Rayleigh Voorhees. So 16-year-old witness told me 40s, 50s. The man who saw him leaving guessed 50s to 60s. Even they both passed within a few feet of BG. I have no doubt he is in his 40s at the youngest to go along with LE when the video is not right in front of us. Not me. And then the witnesses as well. Okay, I'm sorry for the quality. I'm going to fix this one day. So this is Bitter Beat Poet here. So I'm thinking this is Facebook, or probably Facebook. Sorry, I had to take a sip here. All right, so he says, the final details I have never openly shared before. They had walked down the 505. So he's talking about the four girls, right? Not the 501. And on the way back out, not long before they ran into BG, they crossed paths with a man with a black dog, not a woman. And when a member of my Facebook group told LE the next day, he had seen a white truck parked near the Freedom Bridge, the deputy told him it had belonged to the man with the dog. Confirmation. So that man was not too far in front of BG, heading up towards to the high bridge. I know that man's name, but he won't speak. So right here, he's speaking of David Riley. Okay, at least that's my assumption here based on this, but pretty sure. Then he says, I have been told, however, he saw the girls as well as BG, not together, however, but at different places on the trail. So I have estimated, and this is obviously not an exact science, but 240, right? This would put Danielle Pearson and Shelby Hicks around this area. Okay. And these two cross paths. Now, what's interesting about this, and it kind of makes sense, right? Like, even if we go with the state's theory, at least somewhat of it, I don't think BG, walked down this road. That is just effing insane, if you ask me. It is so exposed. It would make sense that he would, probably walk, see if he could try to get through this area because no one else is seeing him until like Daniel Pearson and Shelby Hicks see the David Riley. And going back to this, Rayleigh circled around this area on that map, and she put 215, right? I mean, this is her estimation, right? And this is 240. I'm thinking if this is correct, that let me zoom in on this and see if you could. Do y'all see what's over here? And I know you probably like hat off. Sorry. But this would be a good pathway. Like, I don't foresee somebody walking here, right? Like, this is completely exposed to what, SR 25? I'm thinking, like, if this is accurate or somewhat, either the path and cut through, okay? And look what is right, sorry, zooming in. 2017 view. Where are we? Oh, I am there. Okay, cool. It worked. I don't know how I got it to work, but it worked this time. Okay. I can't see it that clearly. Let me see. Let me check another year, because there's like a little parking area right here where this vehicle was parked at, all day, but also at 1:45. Where was it? I've seen a vehicle like right here before, right? There's like this little gravel area right here. Let's do like a 3D, 2D spin. So this is 2012 though. Like, see the rail still there? Interesting, huh? Remind me one day to talk about what they did with the scrap metal that I kind of figured out. So yeah, this is 2012. See if we could find it. I want to show you because, like, I'm not going crazy. I did see this gravel area. Needs to catch up here. Jeez, like, now I don't even know. Okay, let me look at the compass. Oh, if anyone goes and checks out this Google presentation and haven't used Google Earth, this area right here does definitely help. But direction, you are when you start spinning around here. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong side of the bridge. Get it together. Oh. Okay, see this? Okay, now let me spin it around. See that? So going back to what I was saying, right? So we're at 240 and releasing BG around 215. At least that's what she wrote down on the map. And I mean, this is right by this vehicle. Does anyone want me to cover what Brad Heath had seen? I could do that. So that's 145. Let's go over this real quickly. And this is trial. Wow, somehow all my times got all out of order. Okay, so this is the vehicle that Brad Heath had seen. Sorry if you can hear that airplane. My window's open. We got people like taking notes. Oh, I hear an airplane. She must live by an airport. Okay. Oops. I was right. Okay. So here is all his testimony if anyone wants to check it out. And here's the exhibit. So I try to put that at like all these little markers as well. And then there's a summary of just like, I didn't do that for everyone yet, and excuse the grammar. I was more focused on trying to get like all the exhibits in there. um, so here's Brad Heath's timeline of events. So in the morning at approximately 8:45, he drove to the Hoosier Harvest. Oh, excuse me. I'm so used to saying harvest. Hoosier Heartland Highway towards his first job. So he's an exterminator, so he has multiple stops. And at that time, so when he was on his way to his stop, he observed a vehicle parked near the CPS building close to the Monon High Bridge access. Okay. Now this is what I was just covering here, like somewhere between like 1:43 to 2:06. He returned to Anderson's Cobb Mill, and I believe that is to put things into perspective. If I'm not mistaken, that's like, where's that weird structure thing? Somewhere around here. Like, I know there's like a Cobb trucking company, like a Cobb trucking company. There was like a trucking company at some point, and then they bought out the land for that, for the bridge. But anyway, so he was going to the Andersons Cobb place, Cobb Mill, small pack building for work. And the same vehicle was still parked in the same spot. He found it unusual because vehicles usually do not remain there for very long. So here, like, this is confirmation too. This was a parking area that people would park, and that makes sense. Like, you park there. Remember this, this bridge was just built. So, sometimes people just do what they're accustomed to do, right? And, it's enough room for a vehicle. Apparently, I think there's some mention about there being a gate over here, like a gate, an access gate or something. I don't know. And here's the CPS building, right? So he took notice that this vehicle was still there. So again, he was there at 8:45 around that time, and now we're all the way almost at 2:00. Around the 2:00 area, and he sees the same vehicle parked there. Just saying. So he described the vehicle as an older vehicle. Said it looked like the the vehicle that Tommy Lee Jones was driving in the movie The Fugitive, the original one. I didn't know there was more than one. So, but anyway, he believed the vehicle was likely from the late 1890s, 1990s, and he said it was a dark blue faded vehicle. Right. So again, Daniel Pearson, Shelby Hicks is walking. They see a dog. At least Daniel Pearson does, according, what we just looked at from 5 years ago, or at least 5 years ago when that screenshot was taken. And this is right around this, like, based on the time estimate, this is like where Rayleigh seen the bridge guy, right? Okay, so let me move on. Does anyone have any questions or want to add anything? I'm sorry, I'm not really checking in on the chat, which I should be after today, but I trust all is in order. Oh, hi, Mino Dino. How are you? Good to see you. Oh, and we got Mino Dino here and Shibby. Y'all are hilarious. Together. Crack me up when I can't sleep. So All on the Prowl has a great channel. I love being in his chats because it's just so chill and everyone just seems to get along so well. But you guys crack me up. It's good to see you. Hi, Heather. How are you doing? Hi, co-conspirator. Oh. Person blue holding pencil. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. It's been a busy night. Yeah, there's a lot of lives on. I probably should have checked before I scheduled those. Okay. Let's see. Do street like view like Owl Dave. He drives on the wrong side of the road. I don't know if I can do that. Like I'm barely like navigating this with my lack of monitor skills. I'm just kidding. That was funny. Silly. Just kidding. Run stop signs too. Dodge diplomat. Oh, your dad had one? Are you talking about the Comet? I think I put in here because I was really curious. See if it's in this one. No, it's not in this one. Okay. No, I had the Comet in there, but I think I took it out. So one thing that stinks about the Google presentation, I mean, it's awesome, but you only can upload images one by one. And you can't change the order. So like if you want something, to appear first, you obviously need to upload it first. And a couple times I'm like, oh shucks, I'm gonna have to like delete all this and put it back. And then at some point I stopped caring. But yeah, there was a image of a 1965 Comet, and I'm curious, is there different models? Like, was there like a 2-door and a 4-door option? And I'm sorry if that's a dumb question because like the one that I looked at, it kind of appeared like a Thunderbird. Kind of remind me like one of those old Thunderbirds. And keep in mind, like I definitely don't know much about vehicles. But like the first car I drove was a 1986 Buick Park Avenue. That thing was a boat, man. They don't make cars like they used to. I'll tell you that for sure. Get in an accident and, you have like no damage. Oh, really, Amino? Like the car that Brad Heath seen or Betsy Blair? Sorry, I'm slow. Missed the sound of the 4-barrel carb opening up. Oh, it is a Mercury, yeah. But I think she testified in trial again that it was a Ford. I did hear, I think it was like in the PCA, right? How I remember that being talked about. Like that's not, she must mean this. But then it seems like she doubled down on it, huh? I'm catching up here, sorry. I got ADD, so I'm all over the place. Or vice versa. What your comment? I think it was at 65. Oh, you're talking between. Okay, I'm moving on. All right, so I'm going to go back. am I way too far? I think I'm right in the right area here. There's another vehicle. I didn't mention it. This is a purple PT Cruiser, which was perfect. I mean, purple, which is like Shelby. I said this before, but Cheyenne, she drove a purple 300M. And I know, like, with Chryslers, their grills are like usually they look the same. I mean, would y'all agree? They have like that unique, grill in the front or whatever bumper area. Like, when you would see a Chrysler that it was a Chrysler, at least from my perspective. Hi, Cindy. Hope all is well. Good to see you. All right. I was trying to spare all of you for me going through this again, but it seems like it's taking more time just to find out where I am. Sorry about that. All right, so I think we're at kind of like the area where Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson get to the bridge, right? Before I had to go back and point out the crossing of the dog. All right, so let's just start here. So 255, McCain seen exiting the Monon High Bridge area. Okay. Now Shelby Hicks, like I said, at 255 sees an old man with a camera. So this is after they ran into the dog dude. And this is her testimony right here. When you saw the old man with the camera, was that when you were approaching the High Bridge? She said, yes, I believe so. And then she clarified that, like I was saying, when she were walking to the High Bridge, I looked back and saw him, but he was facing the High Bridge. He wasn't walking. So he was just standing there. Like, that's creepy. I'm sorry. It is. All right. So this is her testimony. And there was a juror question. So, she said overweight man with a camera. Now, when I look at David McCain, I don't see an overweight man. I don't know. Like, I feel like he's got like a man, like, got a little beer belly or whatnot, but I don't think he looks overweight. Like, I've never seen him in person. So to me, like, overweight, I guess that's a subjective word. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dino. I don't know. Has anyone else looked at what David McCain looks like? Would you consider him overweight? I mean, I'm not saying he's like a fit guy. You know what I mean? And like the man is what I think he was like in his 70s when he was testifying. Like, I mean, your metabolism slows down, but he seemed to be pretty active. McCain looked flamboyant, like an open-minded artist from the 70s. Yeah, he's definitely a free spirit from what I've seen. Oh, that's funny. All right. So I was looking at the chat. All right, so now at 2:55, Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson are on platform number 1. And this is like an overview, kind of what I've already covered as far as when they arrived. Right here it says you can go towards the highway or the bridge. She received a phone call from her dad, and she calls it being, her being on the trail when it came, when, like, so that's how she's like verifying the time of arrival. Okay, so here, this is a good point here. About the cars. Remember I said, like, let's follow the cars? So just an overview of where we're at around this time. Okay. So Betsy Blair, she departs at 2:15. Okay. So there's like no vehicles because she testified when she got left, there was no vehicles. And then we have David Riley, right? He's in a Honda Ridgeline. So that gets us at 1, right? There's one vehicle between 2:20 and 2:30, at least 2:29, right? David McCain's 4-door Honda Accord is parked on the right of David Riley. And David Riley seen this, when he was leaving. So that's another vehicle, right? At 2:29 at least. So there's 2, right? And Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson park around 2:30. Shelby sees other cars there and receives a call from her dad at 2:30. So that, and she doesn't park in the lot. So that gets us to 3 vehicles, right? Then David Riley, I haven't covered this yet, but he leaves around 2:35. So shortly after he sees Daniel Pearson and Sheb, so I keep on calling her, yeah, I'm not calling her Mills, right? I don't know why I keep on mixing up Mills and Hicks, but Shelby Hicks, right? They cross paths because she's just getting there. So now we're at, so we got, I'm looking at my notes here. I can count. I'm just reading while I'm doing this. All right. And I'm like all over the place here. Okay. So we have David Riley. That's 1. David McCain. So we're at 2. Then we're at 3 with Shelby Hicks. And then David Riley leaves. So that's 2. Then Cheyenne Mill and Shelby Duncan arrive around 2:50. Okay. And she parks. There's 2 parking, like there's 2 people parked there. And she parks in the grass. Receives a phone call at 3:12 as she was walking on the Mears connector to the High Bridge. When she leaves, she sees a man in a car. Okay. And we'll cover that in just a second. So here we go. Here's her arriving. Here's some. So this is the purple Chrysler 300M. Okay. So she gets here and then she, Hicks and Pearson are on platform 1 around this time. And then she sees an old man with a camera again, right? So she's not, so why is this all over the place? Is someone messing with me? Oh, that's funny. Let me go back here. Yeah. So she passes the guy with the camera. She says hi to him, but he didn't respond back. They continued towards the Monon High Bridge. When they approached the Monon High Bridge, Cheyenne testified she saw Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson on the first platform. So he is still in this area right here. And I'm pretty sure he also, this is not a shocker because he did, within the transcripts, he does testify that, he liked this area, I guess. So he went down, and I'm calling it niche. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, if it's just an abbreviation. I don't know if you're supposed to say NICHE because that's weird. I guess it could be niche. Right. So that's like this whole area, kind of. And now they're calling this parking area. They're calling this parking area right here the niche parking area. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like formal on it, but so they're now over here. They have passed the guy with the camera, still in this area, like I pointed out, and they see Shelby Mill, Shelby Mills sees Shelby Hicks and Daniel Pearson, right? So Cheyenne and Shelby see Shelby and Daniel as they're on this platform. Now, Shelby Hicks, she says at first she was here for about like 10 minutes. So this is still like, this is adding up. She's here about 10 minutes. And then they stayed no longer than like 20 minutes after this, meet, I guess. I mean, it wasn't planned at all. So this is where they cross the Monon High Bridge. I've covered this already. But I just thought it would be interesting to like bring in where this man has been talked about. And that's through, obviously like Reddit and stuff. Like, unless I'm going crazy, I didn't see any testimony or exhibits. There's just so much. I didn't see him. I don't think he testified. Maybe there's like a deposition or something. Am I wrong, y'all? Could be. Now, if I am correct though, I don't know about you, but I find it interesting because this is a tight window. We all know that. I find it interesting that two people who's been talked about seeing Bridge Guy as he's leaving. So what, 2 of the 3? Because Betsy Bear, I mean, she's seen him too, but that was before Libby and Abby arrived. But like 2 out of 3 people, they didn't test. Like, where were they? Do y'all think that's kind of weird? And I mean, I get it. Like, I could see it both ways. Maybe I don't know these people's backgrounds. Maybe they're not credible, or like it's one of those things that would wash, right? But also, if you look at it from a different perspective, and like if you're looking at it from the state's perspective, why wouldn't the defense call these 2 people? Right? Goes both ways. I mean, and then why didn't the state bring them in? That's even more alarming because like the state has to prove their case, right? And from what I researched, it didn't, like, these are the 2 people that did not want to really talk. And I don't blame them because like this community is freaking nuts, if you ask me. So I totally get why they might have been like standoffish, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't look good, right? Because there's like I said, there's a lot of people coming and going this area, but you got a very narrow window, and it appears like there's more people there than I don't know. What's the dog. Did the dog sighting surprise anybody? I don't know if any, like, if you all watched people like, YouTubers like Andrea or Criminality. They were covering the notes, right? Was anyone surprised when they talked, like the mention of the dog was in there? Check in with the chat. Gosh. Oh my god, you guys are funny. Uh-oh, somebody got in the wrong vehicle. I think I left off right here. Thank you, Heather. How are you feeling? Hope all is well. Heather says, boys, LOL. Yeah, boys will be boys, right? Birdie. Oh, excuse me, mister. Not in my house, okay? No, just kidding. Oh, he just looks old. I think I talked about that. Each time was like a shock to the system. Oh, so Louise said when I was asking about if you would consider McCain to be overweight, she says, I wouldn't consider him overweight. I would consider him older. Yeah, and it's like she first described him as overweight. That was, and the juror asked, "Hey," and like that was a good sign. At least they were paying attention, right? And they're like, "Wait, was this the old guy with the camera?" and she said yes. No, really? Where were you? February 14th or 13th, 2017. Oh no, Annie has white vans. That is creepy. It's a red flag. Luis, they're Dinos. He rents out white vans by the hour. Are you a trafficker? Yeah, Luis is so beautiful. Inside and out. Yeah, I just sit around and watch business go in the hole. Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Heather, I'm going to have to check that out. I've literally been doing this whole Google Earthing for like deep in the weeds for like 5 days. I don't know if you heard my last live stream, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to fix it and figure this out, or I'm just going to say, screw it. Well, you know what I did. And I probably should have trusted my gut. I mean, it's nice now, but it is kind of a pain, especially when you don't know what you're doing. DP, a quick hitter. Uh-oh, what happened? I know those eyes. Sorry, I'm vaping if you cannot hear. Do you hear the crickets? I used to miss when Phoenix would do his lives and you would hear the crickets. uh, or should I say, like when he was joining other people's lives? I think him and DB, those were like the best live streams. I don't know why they stopped doing them. I'm still wondering if they ever completed the puzzle. Just saying. They were really, really good and funny. They like they fed off of each other really well. Yeah, you're right, Cindy, about the witness, right? Like if either side felt it would help the case, they would be on the stand. I agree with you. And to that point too, like like I was saying, I mean, really the defense doesn't have to. I mean, obviously you want to, right? You got to do whatever it takes from a defense perspective, to try to do what you're hired to do, right? And that objective would be an acquittal. And so I see your point there. I just find it suspicious that the state didn't also include them. But I'm always suspicious about everything. That's just me. Evil I buy buried a bunch. Evil I oh geez. I'm at the point in my life, I hate to admit this, where glasses no longer work. Like there's no even point here, you know. It's like I can't see that close and I can't see, far if I'm not wearing them. So I feel like all over the place. I feel like a bad trip or something. Like all uh, imbalanced. Oh, that's good, Heather. That's glad. I'm happy to see you. Yeah, is Louisiana that bad? I haven't like seen a lot of true crime cases there. I think there was a couple. I think The Innocents. Like, have you watched that series? And I don't know what the proper title is. I think it's called like The Innocent Files or something like that. But it's like The Innocent Project, and they were covering a couple cases. Like I think they only did like 2 seasons. It was so good. But anyway, I remember I think there was a case of somebody who was really innocent. Like it was so botched. I think it was like had to do with some girls being taken out of their home in the middle of the night, and then or maybe at least one girl, and found in like a creek or something. And I think that was Louisiana. I don't know. Like I think too, like Texas is kind of crazy, if you ask me. Like they just love killing people over there. I mean, I'm not I you know, there's I'm kind of in between when it comes to the death penalty. Like from one aspect, I like can you guarantee that you're going to kill somebody, right? Like and there's people that have been let out of death row because they were innocent. But at the same point, I can also see, there's just so many horrible, horrible people out there that's done some brutal ass shit, and it's like I can see why. But then at the same time too, it's like, well, that's being a hypocrite. That's being hypocritical. Like, I don't know. But yeah, like Texas, I seen like this one case, and I'm horrible with names, but you might remember, or like when I start talking about it, you might know what I'm talking about. But it's like this, it's these parents that had like a foster child, and the child's, I think he was having like seizures or something, and then the child had passed away, and they convicted this lady for his murder. Foster parent. I think they were thinking she was abusing him or something, but he actually went into, I think, like the spice cabinet and consumed an extreme amount of sodium, which was, I guess, if you overdose, I don't even know if that's the right word to use, with sodium, like you do bloat up, and it may look like bruising, but it took her forever to get out. And like this was, I guess, what they got her on was, it wasn't even like, it was because they felt like she should have taken him to the hospital earlier. I don't even think like they were thinking like ultimately, like when they got to trial, that she caused his death directly, but indirectly, and they like found her guilty, and she was on death row. Crazy. Hmm. So, Great Lakes fungi or whatever. Sorry about that. I've had like a glass of wine, if you can't tell. So, this person, oh, cute dog, by the way. So, DG encountered McCain coming into the trails at the junction where the trail splits between Mary, Gerard, and the Monum High Bridge. McCain was in the same spot, going the same direction when DG looped back. So Derek German encountered McCain. So let's look at that. I'm actually like right here. So Derek German encountered McCain coming into the trails. Huh. That's interesting, because like Derek German got there at 3:13? I'm writing this down. 1 second. But yeah, what time? Do you know? Like, because I know he went back and forth to his vehicle a couple times. So Derek German encountered McCain coming into the trails at the junction where the trail splits. Okay. McCain was in the same spot. So he was still in this area, going the same direction when Derek German looped back. Why? Well, let's look at that, because I do have his activities. So let's just, okay, so here he comes. He's arriving, right? 3:13. So around 3:25, you see McCain, right? This is what you're talking about. McCain was in the same spot, going same direction as when Derek German looped back. So let me get out of presentation mode. I'm going to say 3:25, right? Okay, so right here. And prior to that, at 3:12, there was an overweight man who's old. So, okay, so at that, like 3:12 to 3:25, he's still in this area. Does anyone happen to know where the fence? So McCain, when he testifies, he says like he liked taking a photograph of an oak tree, I believe, and a fence. And this is probably not, I think I was already, here we go. Was this was like that, I wonder, is this where the, I know I have so many questions. Where Richard Allen said, like, he was helping with a project to take down, or because this used to be the McCains, right? Like, McCain used to own pretty much, well, they still, like, own half of Delphi, if you ask me. Well, hi, Percussion. Yeah. So that's like really where I was going with this whole presentation. Because I really wanted to set like the tone as far as like where Eugene might have exited, right? Versus like going down this open area right here. Like, what is this? Like, no one is going to freaking walk down here. I don't care. Like, there's just no way. And if you want to think like he went through the woods, right? Because like, how else is he going to pass this camera? And all these people are going back and forth. And some people are saying it's a motion camera or whatnot, but still, like even if we remove this camera from the situation, I've driven down this road before, and it is like it is so narrow. It really is. Like you literally can fit like there's two vehicles and like a little space here. Um, So if we want to go with like he was walking through and this somehow or whatnot, um, it just doesn't make sense. And where was McCain too? He's in this area this whole time, and he's on the bridge, right? Like at least what two? I say like 2:30. he's, he's here this whole time. He doesn't hear anything. I understand he's old though, but to the camera, right? All right, I looked at the document where the state was handing over evidence, and I did see mention of photos, right? But where's the SIM card? Like, I just don't trust anyone. But like, why not just give him the SIM card? Like, did you extract everything from this SIM card? And again, he's taking pictures all over the place. So he's like the best person suited to have like either took a picture and captured some of these other people in. Well, apparently he did like capture Hicks on purpose. But he's right here this whole time. And he goes down in the water, right? He takes this trail, he says. But what I was asking is like, does anyone know where this fence is? Because he said he spent a lot of time over there too. Oak likely by the farmland. Those trees have big footprints, yeah. And I was like being a weird creeper. He has what is it, Flickr or whatever, and the whole what is that one group, the Hoosier Heritage, has a bunch of photos, but they're like really old, they're much older. But there was like even the McCain's dad would really like this oak tree, and they were taking pictures of this oak tree, and one of the people said dad's favorite tree, meaning senior, right? And when I looked at it, I'm like, is that Ron Logan's property? Because it looked like there was a bunch of like horses around there. But yeah, like there are some big trees here by the farm area. I seen one by the entrance. And the tree that was in the picture, it looked kind of like dead. It's a date. Yes, yeah, I did see that too. Yeah, so good point. So McCain gave the feds his SIM or whatever you want to call it, card. That's how he referred to it, and had not gotten it back. So, did the feds hand over the photos from this card? But if you think about it, what not like the camera can essentially be binoculars, right? You're taking photos, you're hiding behind a camera. Like, what are you like? Poor Mickey. I'm probably like totally accusing some old man here, but it's just weird. Logan, I'm taking back my high. Oh. McCain Super Sauce claims to have gone to look at eagles. Not all eagle watching time of day. Yeah, an eagle, okay. Eagles love oak trees. Just saying. They like dead trees too. I don't know why. Maybe because they can see the area, for predators or whatnot. I thought they had his camera. No, I think, I mean, you could be right, Cindy, but I believe they just had, they took the SIM card or SD card out, and he said he never got it back. So interesting. Okay, so here's another, this is total theory, and this kind of goes into the testimony, well, not testimony, but like what David Riley has stated. And I left this out because it's just kind of like a rumor here, but at this point. But when he was on, so when David Riley was on his way, so he was coming from east to west, he's seen a vehicle pull out of the cemetery right before he got, right before he parked. And he believed this vehicle was going east. But there's been, speculation that that was Dan McCain. Or no, am I saying? Yeah, Dan McCain. I mean, like, for Christ's sake. Like, gnarly damage to the knee. Oh yeah, he was he was on the bike though, right? I wonder what vehicle he drives. Because Michael Osbrook believes that the vehicle that is claim, the states claim it's Richard Allen, looked boxy. And when Michael Osbrook said that, I was thinking maybe that's a bike rack. But we would obviously see a bicycle on there. Assume McCain's rich, so he's eccentric. Us regular folk just be crazy. Oh, they're only active in the morning and evening. Oh my God, I just love your dog. Yeah, I remember that. If you think about it, really, this window, right? I mean, he is like pretty much there during this entire window. I don't know. It's just to me, it's so bizarre that no one on this bridge heard anything. And like I said before, listening to other people's videos on the bridge, you can hear the creak underneath. And I understand that's a different point, like I'm sure the sound echoes differently because like the if you look at this, the terrain here. No, I didn't want to do that. It's so it is possible, I guess. But actually when I take that back. I'm having an argument with myself. When Frosty, like he has a great video at the time. I think it's no longer there. He was at the murder scene, and he can hear people on the bridge pretty clearly. And it didn't seem like these people were yelling whatsoever. They were just talking normally. Didn't drive, maybe. Tires were not a match either. Yeah, I know. I see it kind of both ways. I do see kind of where it could be see-through, but also I can see where it could be a reflection. Here's the point. Here's the problem with I have with this whole state's theory with the vehicle is they would have like the FBI knows how to identify and track vehicles. I mean, if you ever commit a crime, you better ditch your vehicle because they are good at tracking vehicles, identifying it and tracking it. And they're saying essentially that, or at least admitting, they didn't know what type of vehicle this was. I don't understand that. That is like, and that's the vehicle, the pictures of the vehicle, the video that I wanted to see. Like that was one like my top 3. Because, like I said, if they knew what vehicle it was, they would have found Richard Allen in like a week. If that is, what, a 2015, is it? Ford hatchback, what is it? Something with a 5 or an S, I don't know at this point. But it's irrelevant. If they knew what vehicle it was, they would have found him. And what was telling to me, if I was on that jury, this would have been like a huge red flag, completely, is when they asked, I think it was what, Mullen? How many like the jury is asking this question, how many vehicles, this, year, make, model are in the area? And that, like, they always thought that like the perpetrator or perpetrators are from that area, right? So they're asking this question and he doesn't know. You're literally on trial for a double homicide and you don't know how many vehicles match or, the same make, model, year. That is mind blowing. To me, that was like, I'm like, these guys are idiots. And again, I've said this before, like I could sit here and be like Sunday quarterback. I probably should not like be this critical in some manner because I've never worked this. I don't know what challenges they have. I struggle with to like they had unlimited resources if they needed it. And if you don't know how to handle something like this, and you never handle something like this is where the leader steps up and says, "You know what? I'm in over my head. Help. What do I do?" It's okay to admit, this is beyond your capabilities. Like that's what true leaders do. Is the ones that say, I need help. This is important. I need to delegate some of these things out. And maybe they did that in a little bit with the FBI. I wasn't there, obviously. I just like the vehicle, it annoys me. So I agree. Like they didn't know what vehicle this is. They didn't. And it's just mind blowing to me. And that's why the PCA too is just like, driving a vehicle similar to the one that Richard Allen owns. Like it's all reverse engineering, manufacturing, or whatever you want to call it. But like everything that they presented in trial basically was because it had a suspect. Nothing was built to find that suspect. It was built around the suspect to like square peg in a round hole. Who's a nutcase? I know I am. Cindy, why does Gatsby sound familiar? It's funny. Lurkers. No sound would have traveled very well. No leaves. River steep side funnel sound. Oh, no sound would have like come from. Yeah, that's true. Heather. He was total stalker in the community, but he was also convicted. A certain guy was the man from that one case where he stole a lot of money and jumped from a place. Who are you talking about? Can't remember the case. I mean, I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, duh. I don't know. He's like always been really nice to me. It's like I've asked him millions of questions. Lived on a river very similar to this in Michigan, Upper Peninsula. I heard it's really beautiful there. They have like a city, it starts with a P. I know, I've seen pictures of it. Looks really pretty. That drives me nuts, Peggy. So many things. Yeah. I think on both ends too. Like, come on. Like, to me, like when I was looking and reading all of this, like there was 2 times that really I was like, oh, you missed it. One is the Rayleigh and Bree testimonies. And read this and tell me I'm not going crazy, please. It it seems like Rayleigh split up at some point from the girls. So that doesn't go very well for Richard Allen if you look at it that way, because he's supposedly seen 3 girls, right? But Rayleigh's also the only one that got a good look of him. But anyway, maybe I'm gonna pull it up. There's just something that stood out to me, and I was like, wow. Let's see. And they were like 12:20. So we got the bench photo. And this is what caused me confusion too, with the whole dog scenario is that she also seen a dog. No, I went too far. Yeah, this is all out of the man with the dog. Okay. All right, let me pull it up. Something tells me I didn't highlight. Why is Derek German in here? So this is Brienne. Gosh, see, the one thing sucks is like it doesn't allow you to maybe because I put him in there because never mind, I'll shut up. Okay. So this is my summary of it. Excuse the spelling. So Rayleigh Voorhees was asked if she recalled seeing anyone on her way back to town. She indicates she has seen 2 people on the trail. She stated that she passed a person on the way out, but had seen another person walking the dog. More specifically, she stated on the way out, yes, but I had seen another person walking their dog this is the part right here. When I myself was walking towards the Freedom Bridge or the High Bridge. I'm sorry. Then she was asked to clarify. This is what I have a problem too. And obviously I'm not an attorney, but I want to pull this up. She was asked a follow-up question. So you saw a person walking a dog on your way to blank, and she responded, hybrid. So she interrupts Diener. Then Diener said yes. Then Diener asked, so you like there was no question unless can you say yes? Like, hey lady, say yes or acknowledge what you're saying is accurate. So you saw a person walking a dog on your way to, she responded, High Bridge. Then Diener said, yes. So maybe it was like more like High Bridge. Are you talking about High Bridge? And she said, yes. I don't know. That stood out to me. But there was some confusion because like it was going back and forth between, so they introduced the whole concept of seeing Bridge Guy by Freedom Bridge. And then Rayleigh's talking about the other guy, right? And it seemed like then they were talking back about Bridge Guy, and it was just all over the place. And I don't know if that was built by design like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you read it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I really wish it. Something got really screwed up in here, and I don't know what. Oh, you know what? I did another one. This one. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know why Derek Derman's in here, man. I told you my eyes. Oh, you know what? Let me stop sharing. I'll just pull the damn thing up. You know what? If you can't laugh at yourself, then you're not living, in my opinion. Let me check in with the chat while I pull this up. Nincompoops, yeah. Love that word. Blabbermouth. Uh-oh, who's the blabbermouth? They would do normal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that's the expectation too, because like what that's a good point. And I'm just gonna add on to it. Like when we're watching like true crime, it's all like what usually, it's like a one episode thing, depending on what you're watching, or it's a docu-series, and everything just seems so nicely knitted, and there's obviously they're not gonna like cover normal cases where you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a lot different on TV, right? Like and maybe that's kind of and I'm just being critical of myself too. Is maybe that's I'm expecting a little of that, but this is just like completely right field from like completely like wow. All this time, like first of all they ask for people's help, right? Hey, how come forward, and they wanted to keep this out, and good, like this case needed to be out in the public. I don't fault them for that. And then then there's an arrest, and then it's like, oh, let's seal everything, and then oh, that's because there might be somebody involved, and then they get to trial, and then their whole position was like, no, I only thought there was one person involved. Well, if you only thought that one person was involved, why the heck did you seal the probable cause affidavit? It's like only when it's convenient for them. And I have an issue with that. And then maybe that's why a lot of people, including myself, don't trust the things like so trust and transparency, they go hand in hand. Like you can't achieve trust without transparency, right? Like they go together. Like the Mr. Rogers song. um anyway, and when you try it's like you're hiding something. And then we like at least from my perspective, you come to find out like none of the answers really were like I guess if you're in the Richard Allen camp, and I do like I'm right in the middle. Like I really I think I'm more on the I think there's somebody else involved side. But it doesn't matter what side I am. I'm on like let's figure this shit out side. Like you don't have to be pro state, pro defense to want to achieve like this needs to be closed. And uh, I don't think one person was involved in this. Not for one bit. And I wish there was. Trust me, I want to like literally move on with my life. And don't get me wrong, nobody's forcing me to be here, but I can't close this chapter. I just can't, because I feel like justice has not been achieved here. And then I'm not even going to go into right now the whole safekeeping, because that's like really when I started being highly engaged. I come from this area. Like I lived in that area, not like right in Delphi, but I want to say like 40 minutes away. And that scared the heck out of me at the time, because the time I had a child that was the same age as the girls, right? So my my awareness was like, whoo, like I'm sure like a lot of other people. But when this whole probable cause came out, or it didn't come out at least, and then we got a man sitting in a maximum security prison, and you know what? To those people that are out there that can sit there and say he confessed all those times, you go sit in a confinement area for 1 year, okay, and then say something. I don't understand it like that. It's not. It's inhumane. It's human rights violation, 100%. And I have a problem with that. Like, not that my opinion matters a lot. I just think like he was mistreated. He was highly, and you got state actors literally, they needed that confession because without those confessions, Richard Allen wouldn't have been convicted, in my opinion. It just kind of makes you think, what at what length do we allow the government? Okay, I'm not talking about Indiana. I'm just talking in general. At what length, like how much rope do we give them before we say, hey, this is not okay? I know a lot of us are in the community, but just in general, because you know what? Like it just moves a little by little, right? You start from Richard Allen, and where are we in 20 years if this is allowed? And now I can see why the gun right people are the way they are in a way, because you have to draw the line. Have to, like, that line cannot be crossed, and it was crossed. And I don't see really any, hey, like even like as we sit here today, right now, there is nobody raising their hand and taking ownership of this. Not one bit. And you know what happens when transparency is not achieved? The same shit happens again because they're not being accountable. Like transparency. You like for trust is transparency, and then part of transparency is accountability. I don't see any accountability whatsoever. And it just infuriates me. I'm sorry. I'll get off my soapbox. Probably pissing a lot of people off. But you know what? Pissed a lot of people off already today. So we'll just add to that list. I don't freaking care anymore. Because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Preach. I'm like exhausted now. It took a lot of energy. Yeah, I'm just like, and another thing that I hate is like when people like they talk shit about defense attorney. Like, okay, talk shit about defense attorneys, but wait, if you needed one, I'm sure you wouldn't think the same, because you know what? I would not want that job. You got everything stacked against you. You're trying to defend your client, and the state has unlimited resources. Unlimited. Oh, look I'm clicking on the same stuff again. I'm gonna move my monitor. Just 1 second. There we go. Now I'm at. Is Shibby still in here? Probably fell asleep. I'm now at the smaller monitor, which just happens to be closer to my eyes. We aren't going to process. What's that one whole saying? It's kind of more of like a Holocaust thing, but it's like, I don't know the exact quote. Let me read it. I'm not good with quotes. Come from me. When they came for me, there was no one left to protest. It's like when you turn and just look the other way, you allow an environment to exist where they do come for you or come come for one of your loved ones. This could happen to anybody. And that shit's scary. What is up with the pencil? Does anyone want to join? I put a link in here. Y'all are probably tired of hearing me speak. Hmm. I'm going to put it in here. But if you're coming in, please let me know, because I have some people that would probably just love a link right now. Don't even get me started on that. Come at me. Yeah, I think so too. Like I was, and in my assessment is not, that's me subjectively seeing how he acted in the interview. So it's judgmental, and but that is not like the only means we use to convict people of a double homicide. I mean, but like I do believe, like, again, this timeline, it just doesn't add up, where everyone was on the trails. You got these phones pinging, and you got, I don't believe in this odinist thing whatsoever. I think the defense probably should have. I do agree with the prof when on that aspect, like organized crime, because that's essentially what where odinist. I want to keep on saying Odinites, but that's a rock or whatever. But that's where that was evolved from. It's within our prison system, and I think there is some organized crime elements to this. It's too clean. I mean, like, please, like, the link for the map, the Google Earth map, is in another one of my live streams. But if you fly through it and you see where everyone's at, and the time David McCain is leaving, the time Derek German's in the parking area, and Sarah somehow sees a dude in that open area. No. Oh, Peggy, the special YouTube emoji sometimes shows as text. Person blue holding pencil. I know which one you're talking about. Okay, gotcha. Oh, shoot. I think I forgot to unblock somebody. I'm sorry to that person. Shibby just summoned 3 demons. Oh, yeah? They're probably listening right now. Somewhere out there, there's a hater. Just saying. That one emoji? Yeah, you've used it. I was just like, that doesn't look like a demon to me. And obviously, like, they're not supposed to be realistic looking, because they're like an emoji. I was watching something the other day about when you use emojis, you're summoning demons. Yeah. Well, apparently, like, some demons have been summoned. The crickets are putting me to sleep. Oh, I don't know, did anyone answer if you hear crickets in the background? I mean, I know my mic sucks, so it's kind of funny. I think I have the same mic that Angela from R&M has, but I think I've had it upside down for like 6 months. It's funny. I laugh at myself all the time. It's okay. Thanks, Fee. Good to see ya. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. Yeah. That's why, like, I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna keep it to my a future live stream. Like, this is no cliffhanger, and it's nothing to do with Richard Allen. Because I know I'll just like end up talking for like another 40 minutes about nothing. So has anyone seen any good like documentaries lately? Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. Because obviously, because you've heard me like talk about this for the last 40 minutes. But yeah, we do need like that's like how the foundation of our government's been built on the whole balance, checks and balances and all that. And it's we the people, right? First thing said, we the people. And I think like if I get concerned when things like this happen because if this was like another country, there are people like maybe not around Richard Allen, but something, I'm not saying this is because of Richard Allen, people would be protesting, but just in general, this whole what we know so far about all this fuckery, to tell you the truth, like they would be protesting. I mean, I know this is not really an apples to apple conspiracy, but you see like what Italy when they try to raise the retirement age to I think like by 1 or 2 years. I mean, they ended up losing, but I mean that shit was like months people out there protesting. And I just I feel like an old person now because it's like, you know, it's the younger generation now. And also like another thing that Italy does so well in the EU in general is like their human rights and their innocence projects. They have been known to get involved in US matters. And if anyone's listening, please step in here. I mean, I'm like making a call to Italy here on YouTube. Yeah, I shut my window. Yeah, that was loud. Stand on your head and do the live again. Oh, we're still talking about demons. Yeah, me too. I'm just like, I'm either or, I'm like really serious or I'm just like, I don't care. It's like I'm extra either way. Oh, yeah? I'm writing that down too. Thank you. What'd y'all think about the Hulu documentary? I'm sure, like, you probably been asked that a million times. This is the first time I've asked. What were your thoughts on that? Mhm. I agree. Should be good point. Yeah, me too. It's like it's like a really small community we have here in the grand scheme of things. Are you Gen X? I'm Gen X. Like barely. I love those Gen X videos. Like those little reels when they're talking about Gen X compared to now. And like my parents fit like right in that category. It's funny. It's like, do not come home. Like go. Now it's like where, your child could literally go to the mailbox and come back and people are freaking out. Peace. Thanks for joining. I know it's getting late. I probably should end this soon. This has been a great chat. And I thank you all for joining and listening to me kind of going on the deep end here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you so much. Oh, are you a captain? Oh, you might be gone already. I just bought Captain Crunch from from a long time ago. I know. I think I always like kind of had a texture thing with it, but it's really good. I like the ones with is it with the berries or something? Yeah, you like her? I do too. I think she was really involved and she did not, she followed the case from like the very beginning. I agree. I think it was a lot better than Dateline. And Dateline, they were in court. I don't know. Were they the ones that the judge had a problem with too? Yes, cereal does sound good. Gen X in the house. Yeah, BMX bikes are awesome. Did you have the ones with the pegs sticking out? Did people hitch a ride with you? And the four-wheel, what is it? What would they call it? The tractor. I forgot what it was. Four-wheeler, or three-wheeler. I'm sorry, three-wheelers. I was looking. I don't know what prompted me, but like they brought the old edition back of the little. Was it like Tyco or something? Did you have the strings hanging out, Heather? Oh, you didn't watch the Dateline either? I think so I really enjoy the prosecutors, their legal briefs. I used to listen to like every episode. And then I don't know, I just feel like they really don't know this case that well. I think they got a couple things wrong. But they do a really good job like breaking down the law. Honey under the influence of honey sticks from the vape store. I didn't even know they was that a flavor? You pegged me. Was she older or younger? That's funny. Were you, like, yelling back at her, "Pedal, damn it. I'm going up this hill here." Younger. Honey sticks infused with THC. That sounds actually really good. I think I was gonna pull something up, wasn't I? Oh, it was like somebody's testimony. I'll leave that. It will come to me, and I'll leave that for the next live stream. Oh, it was the girls, the 4 girls. But I highly recommend checking Bree's and Rayleigh's testimony out if you haven't already. There's just a couple points. I don't want to like give you a bias or anything if you haven't looked at it. But let me know what you think about it, and maybe we can have a conversation about it during the next live stream. Doobies. Are you Irish? No, you don't have to answer that. Mm. Does she have fair skin? I was a strawberry blonde growing up. I have like cursed skin. I don't tan very well. Well, like when my kids were playing baseball, I would get a tan. It's like layered tans, like all summer. Then I'll have like a tan. Um, but I guess it's a blessing and a curse because I don't go out in the sun a lot, which helped me like not age. I'm not saying I'm like a spring chicken by all means. While my friends were putting like vegetable oil on their skin and laying out, I'm like in the back underneath the tree. Oh, Italian and German. Used to be a blonde, now you're gray. But did it take you a while to gray? Because it's like not that noticeable, later hair usually. Heather gray hues. Cindy. Do you live like I'm not, you know what? Forget it. Don't answer. Even though I didn't really ask you a question. Heather gray hues. So yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I wrote that down too. See, I really have a pencil and a paper. Is that a cupcake? I want a cup. Oh, it's like a muffin, right? I'm going to the eye doctor. So I went to Costco and bought it's like around the time they had a sale, like their buy two sale. And I got contacts and 2 pairs of glasses. And I'm like even like walking around, I'm like, this is weird. And then I found my old glasses, which is lost again, by may I add. And I put them on and I'm like, holy shit, this dude gave me the wrong prescription. Like, what do you do in that scenario? Do they like probably can Google it? Do they fix it? Like, it's not my fault this guy gave me the wrong glasses. So I think I'm like a negative point 0.5. Like, I don't have horrible eyesight, and he moved me up. So this whole time I'm thinking, like, oh wow, my eyes are changing. I can't see close very well, and I'm sure there's like a component of that, but he gave me the wrong prescription. Hmm. Did that hurricane ever come? I know Alan the Prawl was, I think he said it was turning. See, I don't watch the news. I should. But it is like depressing too. Here we go with the woods again. Oh, well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone dropping in. I totally needed this. Like, this was great. Had some chuckles. You guys are funny, but in a good way. Oh, ew, David. All right. Thank you very much again for joining. I'll probably be doing another live stream, maybe over the weekend. This time I'm going to like check people's schedules, and we'll dive into the four girls a little bit more. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care.